Okay, hello everyone. This is Prashant, and we are starting our series Induction in Psychology. And I'm starting with Unit 2.1, that is Biopsychology, also known as Behavioral Neuroscience. So let's begin. So, the main questions we cover in this unit are: what is brain? Why are we studying it? Okay, how is it related to our behavior? If so, how? And can our behavior in turn affect our brain? So, we are going to cover all those questions. And the main focus areas of our presentation are these. Okay, so number one is neuroanatomy. What is the anatomy of your nervous system? That includes your brain and nerves. Then we cover neural imaging, like how do we actually capture what is happening inside your brain or nervous system. Okay, it will discuss those methods. And behavior endocrinology, which means how your hormones and behavior are connected. Okay, and then we have neurophysiology. Okay, what is the physical structure and processes going on inside your nervous system? And all these are the core or subparts of the core called behavioral neuroscience. Okay, so first is first we will start with the importance of brain. Okay, so why is brain important and why are we studying it in the first place? Okay, so the story starts in ancient world called Greek Egypt, and in Egypt, they used to believe that heart is the most important organ. Why? Because once a person is dead, their heart stops beating, and you can only observe. It's the only organ that beats and can create physical vibrations. So they thought that okay, so heart is where a person's soul is. So they thought, okay, the soul resides in your heart, but they also have inklings, because they made some observations. What observations they made? They made that okay, once you have brain injuries, when your head goes through some accident or something, it causes dysfunctions in your body. Maybe you cannot behave properly, you cannot see, stuff like that. Okay, so now we have inklings. Now we move on to Greece, and there we find our new researcher whose name is Alchemion of Croton. Okay, so what did he discovered? Okay, his method was direct sense perception. So he did partial autopsies of animals and humans. And what did he observe? He observed that sense organs were connected to brain parts, especially your eye, that is connected to your brain through what? Through a wire-like structure. He called them poroi, or channel in Greece, in Greek. Uh, in modern day terms, is called optic nerve. Okay, and he found out all the sense organs are in one way or another connected to your brain. Okay, and we use sense organs to what? Sense. So his reasoning was as follows. Okay, so his reasoning started like this: sense organs help me observe reality. Without sense organs, I cannot observe reality. Eyes help me see, ears help me hear, and nose and mouth help me taste stuff. So he, so certain specific sense organs observe specific stimuli or sensations. Okay. Now, most of the sense organs are closer to my head and they are connected to the brain through nerve-like structures, wire-like structures called nerves. Okay. So what happens is that now they are connected. It's likely they carry information from reality to my brain. Okay, and these sensations are carried to my brain, not to my heart, because all the sense organs are not directly connected to my heart. Okay, they are directly connected to what? To my brain. And any form of problems we have encountered in our brain due to head injury or something leads to problems in my perception or thinking. And based on all these observations and conclusions, we can come to the final conclusion, that is, brain is the seat of soul and thinking. So yeah, so now we find out that okay, so there is something called brain in our head and it is the most important part. Now that we have discovered it, we are going to move forward to the next topic, that is our new researchers. There are two researchers here. Let's call them Herophilius and Erastus. Okay, so what did they did in Greek? Okay, so They mostly did dissections on corpses and vivisections on criminals because it was allowed in their society. And they studied, okay, what is brain, what is the structure of the nerves, okay, how all of these are connected. So they studied that. So what were their observation and their reasoning? Okay, but they found out that brain has different parts, and all these parts are distinct from another but connected to each other. Okay, and there are wire-like structures uh, called nerves, and there are different forms of nerves. Some nerves are there in the brain, we call them cranial nerves. Some nerves are in the spine, we call them spinal nerves. Okay, and nerves also connect sensory organs. That connect sensory organs to the brain are called sensory nerves, and nerves that are connected to muscles are called motor nerves. Okay, so they did stimulation experiment. So what is stimulation? Basically, they put pressure on the nerves and they observed, okay, what happens. Generally, when you put pressure on sensory nerves, they cause sensations, and when you put pressure on the motor nerves, uh, they cause contraction of muscles. So they obviously, if they exist for some form of purpose. So they came up to a wrong conclusion, but they came up to a conclusion that, okay, nerves carry something, okay, or carry information in some form. Okay, what was the form? In vapors of fire or air. That what they thought, and they called it animal spirits. Okay, now that we have came up to the conclusions, what we found out so far, we found out, okay, brain plays an important role in sensation, perception, and thinking. Okay, and what we also found out that brain has different parts, and there are different nerves connecting brain to other organs. Okay, now we are come up to our next researcher, and his name is Andreas Vesalius. So did he do? Okay, so his method was dissection of criminals or corpses of criminals, and what he did was he systematically described all the body parts. Basically, he would dissect the body, he would observe the parts, he would make drawings of there, and then he will do label each part with a certain name. Okay, now after that, his reasoning was this: nerves are different from muscles. Okay, from anatomically, that is observable. Then he also found out that nerves connect to different body parts. Okay, and all these nerves are spread across all the body parts. Okay, nerves originate from brain and they are connected to all the body parts. That what he found. And he also found out that nerves are not empty like veins or arteries. So they cannot carry any form of animal spirits or any other type of thing, uh, like vapors. Okay, so they don't carry fluid, they don't carry vapors. But based on our previous experiments, we do realize that nerves must carry something, but not animal spirits. Okay, so we found out, we came up to all these conclusions so far. Obviously, when you draw out nerves in the human body, you come up with two systems. One is central nervous system, the other is peripheral. Central nervous system is in the middle of the body, you know, and the peripheral is on the proximity or on the sidelines. Okay, so nervous system, central nervous system mainly contains your brain and your spinal cord. Okay, and peripheral nervous system are all the nerves that connect either brain are connected to muscles or other organs, and they connect them to the spinal cord direct. Okay, so they are not directly connected to spinal organs that are not directly connected to spinal cord or brain are connected through peripheral nerves. Okay, so these are the two systems, and now we came up with some new questions based on all these conclusions. What are those new questions? Those new questions are, okay, what are the functions of the brain? Now that we know that brain has different parts and brain does play a certain form of function. Okay, what are those functions? Do specific brain parts play specific functions? Okay, how do we find them out? Okay, we also know that there are wire-like structures in the body called nerves that connect brain to all the other organs. Okay, so if these nerves don't carry animal spirits, what do they carry and how do they carry it? And which nerves are involved in which type of function? Okay, and how do brain and nerves interact? And this will is Uh, these questions will lead us to a new pathways of research and other researchers that we are going to cover in these and the upcoming videos. So if you liked it, if you liked the presentation, give it a like, maybe subscribe, share it with those people around you. And yeah, thanks for watching.